So, what if I told you that one simple phone call a year could literally save you over $100,000 and help you pay off your mortgage maybe a decade early? It sounds kind of crazy, right? Well, today we're diving into a powerful financial secret I really wish I knew about so much sooner: mortgage recasting. You know, I didn't learn about this until just recently, and honestly, it's a game changer. This quote pretty much sums it up perfectly. It's kind of thing that makes you go, wait, why isn't this common knowledge? But once you see how it works, you'll totally get it. For years, I was just like everybody else. I thought the only way you could change your mortgage payment was to refinance. I mean, that's what everyone talks about, isn't it? So when I first heard the word recasting, I'll be honest, I had no clue what it meant. I just assumed a refi was the only option on the table. And when I finally understood what recasting was, my first reaction was just frustration. I literally thought, how did I not know this? Why on earth does nobody explain this? It was just one of those crucial adulting things you feel like you stumble upon by pure accident. And it made me realize I could have been making much better decisions with my mortgage all along. Okay, so let's get right into it. To really understand the power here, we need to be super clear on what recasting is and maybe just as important what it is not, right? So here is the biggest difference. Refinancing, that's a whole thing. You're taking out a brand new loan to completely replace your old one. That means new rates, new terms, probably new closing costs. Ugh. But recasting, it's so much simpler. You're not getting a new loan. You're just adjusting the one you already have. So here's the simple breakdown. You make a payment that lowers your principal, right? Then you call your lender and they basically recalculate everything based on that new smaller balance. And this is key, they spread it out over your remaining loan term. Nothing else changes. Not your interest rate, not the end date of your loan. Just the required monthly payment gets smaller. Okay, let me walk you through my experience to make this really concrete. So I started with a $500,000 mortgage. Over time, I made some extra payments directly to the principal, and that brought the total amount I owed down to about $460, $1,000. And that's the first step. You have to knock down that principal balance first. So I called my lender, asked them to do a recast, and boom. Just like that, my required monthly payment dropped by a couple $100 instantly. It was the same loan, same interest rate. The payment was recast lower because the amount I owed was lower. Simple as that. Now, here's the part that really blew my mind. This isn't just some one time trick you use when you get a big bonus or something. Nope. It's a repeatable strategy that you can use every single year. And that's probably the biggest misconception out there. You do not need a huge pile of cash to do this. Even if you're just paying a little extra, say an extra $100 a month, well, that's enough to get this whole process started. This is where it turns into this amazing cycle. Pay a little extra each month. Then, once a year, you ask for a recast and your required payment drops. But then, and this is the magic part, you take the money you're now saving each month and you add that right back on top of your extra principal payment. It creates this quiet compounding snowball that just gets bigger and faster every single year. So, what does all this actually accomplish in the long run? I mean, what does this little snowball strategy really get you? Well, the numbers are actually pretty staggering. Okay, get this. On a standard $500, $1,000 mortgage, if you pay just an extra $100 a month and you do that annual recast, you could shave 5 to 7 years off a 30-year loan, just gone. And it's not just about paying it off faster. Look at the interest you save. We're talking about $60,000 to $80,000 that stays in your pocket instead of going to the bank. That's a huge difference, and it all comes from a tiny change in your habits. And remember, that's all with just an extra $100 a month. But now imagine you get a bonus from work or maybe a tax refund and you decide to throw that at the mortgage right before you recast. This is when things just they really explode. Every extra dollar you put in supercharges that snowball effect. Your regular $100 payments are great, but when you add in these bigger occasional lump sums, it just dramatically amplifies your results. All of a sudden, your interest savings aren't just significant. They can easily jump into the six-figure range. I mean, we're talking over $100,000 saved over the life of the loan. And what does that do to your timeline? Well, you could potentially be looking at paying off your home 8 to 10 years sooner, an entire decade of your life without a mortgage payment. And you did it all without ever having to refinance or change your interest rate. And honestly, that's the part that just floored me. The idea that a few simple, repeatable actions, paying a little extra, and making one phone call a year could create such a massive financial shift. It's just incredible. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. What would it mean for your life? For your retirement? Your freedom? What could you do with that extra 100 grand back in your pocket and owning your home free and clear a full decade ahead of schedule? It's really powerful thought, and it all starts with something as simple as one phone call a year.